so I wanted to do something a little bit different today, and I might be incorporating this a lot into my channel. If you guys don't already know, usually I have like beauty hacks or just hacks videos in my channel, and then sometimes I do DIYs, and then of course I do makeup. But I just want my channel to be whatever I want it to be. So basically, I love to do makeup, I love DIYs, I love being funny and doing like the beauty hacks with you guys and things like that. So I wanted to do story time, which I think is pretty funny because, well, this one is really not that funny, but I think it's because I've had so many experiences in my life that I just want to talk about it with you guys. So whether they be bad or good, there's some that are like really sad, and then there's some that are really happy. This one is, I don't know, it's not happy, of course, what happened, but it's just something that happened to me. I just want to begin by saying, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe down below for me. I would really appreciate it, and I wanted to say thank you very much for that. But then let's just get right into the video. So, okay, so a lot of you may not know this, but I grew up in New York. So obviously New York is pretty rough and tough. Like, you know, if you are from New York, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, it's a really like tough place to grow up. I grew up in the Bronx, and basically I experienced so many things as a teenager, and this story is about the day that I got mugged by gunpoint. So I know it's not funny, I'm laughing, but it's really not funny. But now I can laugh at it because I'm fine, but it's really not. So there's a part in the Bronx that's called Soundview, and it's not really a great place to live or be at, but I was going to school there. Now imagine, like, this was basically like when I was a teenager, so this was in the 90s, and I'm just gonna tell you guys the way I dressed because this has a lot to do with the video. So the way I dressed as a teenager in the 90s was, we were really like baggy clothes. So if you guys remember like TLC, that's the way we dressed. I mean, not to that extreme, but it was more like baggy clothes and like Timberland boots and things like that. So I remember going to a school in Soundview there, and the reason why I was there was because I was truant in my school that I was zoned to where I lived. So I went there, and my first day there, I go into the school, and I'm, you know, fine. I go to the school. It's really kind of like really like rough kids in there and stuff. So I wasn't really one of those kids. I wasn't like really rough or anything. I just really skipped a lot of school in high school, so that's why I had to go there. I guess it was like a punishment to me. So anyway, so I am walking to, I believe it was the train station, and at the time I had on, and I can remember exactly what I had on. That's so weird because I have no memory of hardly anything, but I can remember certain parts in my life. But I remember I had 2 pair of jeans on, and when I tell you 2 pair of jeans, it's because I was so skinny. I was like 90 pounds, like 85 pounds, and I was like 17 years old. And at the time, like, people wore like the baggy jeans, so it was really in, so I wanted mine to be really baggy. So I had 2 pair of jeans on, and I had a red sweater on, and it had that Timberland boot in the front. So I don't know if you guys know what the Timberlands are, but we call them Tims, and they're like those construction boots. Those are really big when I was growing up. So I had like the construction boots on the front of the sweater that I was wearing. It was a red sweater. So I also had the Timberland boots on. I swear I was fly, like I thought it was fly. Now back in the 90s, we wore like, they were called like door knocker earrings. That they were huge, big earrings. Like if you guys remember Salt and Pepper, and they would wear those door knocker earrings. You could basically like squeeze it, and it would just like, they were so hollow. So they were like pretty much nothing. So I was wearing like these big door knocker earrings. I had this big chain on my neck, and it was a big Mickey Mouse medallion. Like, I mean, this Mickey Mouse was so big. It was like probably this big on my neck. That's how ridiculous it was. But it wasn't like something heavy, so it didn't cost a lot, but I mean, it was a big deal like back in the 90s. And I also had a beeper on the side of my hip. So yeah, I know I was like really trying to be thugged out at like 17 years old. I don't know what I was doing, but funny story, I remember when I had that beeper, and I came home, and my mom was like, "What, are you selling drugs now?" And I was like, "Mom, no, I'm not selling drugs." And I remember it was like this pink beeper. So anyway, so I'm walking and I remember that it was fall because I knew that nobody was around me when I was walking. It was pretty much like maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It was like a day of the week. I don't remember that day. But now if you can picture this, on this side here, there was like a parking lot and it was like gated off on that side. And it was basically like a warehouse parking lot. So there wasn't like a lot of people there. It was just like a lot of cars like parked there. And then on this side here, it was all wooded area. So I was just walking to the train station and I hear leaves rustling behind me. So I'm like, I know nobody's behind me because I knew I was alone, like walking. I turn around and I see this guy on a freaking bike and he had a handkerchief, like a red handkerchief around his face. Right when I saw that, I pretty much knew what was coming. In my mind told me to run, obviously, because that's what you're gonna do. So as I tried to run, because I knew what he was going to try to do, either rob me or what, I don't even know, but I knew obviously he wasn't like gonna say, oh hi, how are you? He had a handkerchief around his face, so I mean, he was riding a bike and he was coming straight at me. So before I could run, he grabbed the back of my sweater, and like, let's say this is the back of my sweater, he grabbed the back of my sweater and yanked me back. So I lost my footing, but I didn't fall, but I kind of like stumbled backwards. And then he turned to me and all I remember is like screaming and like crying. And I was young. Now, mind you, I was like 17 years old. And remember, I was like 90 pounds, like 85 pounds. And I'm only 5'2", so I'm not tall. So I was really small. And I remember him grabbing me from my shirt like this, and he picked me up. And when he picked me up, he slammed me against that gate. Remember how I told you that gate was here? So he slammed me against the gate, but when he slammed me against the gate, I swear I was off the ground. Like my feet were like dangling. I was trying to hit him. I was trying to grab like the handkerchief off his face. I don't know why. My instinct was to hit him. Now I don't think I would do that. I would just be like, here, take whatever you want. But at the time, my instinct was to defend myself because I didn't know whether he was gonna rob me or try to hurt me or rape me. I don't know, but so I started defending myself and I started punching him in his face. I'm sure my punches didn't do much to him. So I think with me punching him, he didn't expect that and he kind of dropped me. Like he let go of this and he dropped me on the floor. So when he dropped me, like I almost fell to the floor, but I didn't fall to the floor. I kind of fell to my knees and I remember getting up really quickly. And then I remember him grabbing me again. And it was like, all I could do was try to get away from this man. And I don't even think it was a man, it was a kid because he looked young as well. He was probably like the same age as me, maybe 18 or whatever. And I remember him picking me up and he slammed me on the ground. So when he slammed me on the ground, I had him by the shirt too. So I had him by the shirt, he had me by the shirt, and we're on the floor, like basically in the middle of the street, okay? And we're rolling around in the middle of the street. Like he's rolling on me, I'm rolling on him. He has me like here, but I can feel that he's trying to grab at my neck. So I knew right away that he was trying to get my chain. So when I was walking, I had my chain inside my shirt. So I knew he couldn't have just seen me and just wanted to mug me. I knew it was somebody that I probably knew or probably that just knew of me in the school and just saw the chain or whatever because I had it in my shirt. So I remember him grabbing at my neck. And at that point, like I just kind of stopped fighting him and I heard the chain like break. So I figured he took the chain. He jumped up, he got up really quickly. I think that's all he wanted because he jumped up and I remember him, oh, well, you know what? Let me backtrack a little bit. He said, I have a gun and I will shoot you if you don't give me what I want. I remember that in the beginning of like this whole incident when this went down. I forgot to tell you guys. But I never saw the gun. So I assumed maybe that he didn't have one or I didn't even see it. So the thought didn't even cross my mind. So then he jumped up and when he jumped up, I like was still laying on the floor and he got on the bike, but my instinct was to jump up. I jumped up so quickly that I grabbed him by the back of his sweater. Now I would never tell anybody to do that. If they're leaving, let them leave. I don't know why I did that. I think I was just so mad that he did this to me that in some way in my mind, I wanted to fight back, but I don't know why I did that. But I grabbed his back of his shirt because I wanted to yank him off the bike. But when I grabbed his shirt, it was like I felt like the shirt and I couldn't get like a grip on it. So he just went riding away on the bike really quickly, whatever. I don't even know where he went. I was so in hysterics, crying and screaming. So then I look down and I look in my shirt like this, and my freaking chain was in my shirt. He never got anything. And I was like, oh my God, all this for nothing. Like, I mean, at least he could have gotten my chain or something. I had my earrings on, which were squished like pancakes, and I had the chain was in my neck. So the only thing he did was break it. But I think he must have thought that he took it, but it fell inside my shirt. So now I get up, I'm shaking, I'm crying, but people like 4 or 5 blocks down, and basically these people came running up to me, and they were apparently like washing their car like maybe 4 or 5 blocks away. They came running up to me. I was like in hysterics, and they're like, oh, we thought that was your boyfriend. And I'm like, my boyfriend? Like, I mean, that is insane. Like, who would be fighting? I mean, I know it probably happens, but I was 17 years old. Like, I wouldn't be fighting my boyfriend in the middle of the street, like rolling on the floor and freaking being banged up against a gate. Like, that was insane to me, like how they thought that. But you know what, they still helped me out anyway. They put me in the car and they drove me to the precinct, so I had to make a report. Long story short, the guy was never caught because I couldn't identify him because of that handkerchief over his face. So I have no idea who did that to this day. Obviously he didn't get anything from me, and I would never tell you guys to fight if somebody pulls out a gun and wants to take like your chain or your money. Just give it up. It's not even worth your life. I guess, guys, the moral of this story is, if God forbid you ever do get mugged, just give them what they want. If it's just a piece of jewelry or it's like money or something, listen, that can always be replaced. Your life is more important than that. At that time I was young, so my instinct was to really fight back over like materialistic stupid things. God only knows what could have happened, and thank God it didn't. But I just wanted to share that story with you guys. I have so many other stories to tell you guys, so I'm gonna probably incorporate these into my channel because I think they're helpful, and a lot of them are funny, and a lot of them, some of them are sad, but most of them are pretty funny. Like, me growing up in the city was the funniest thing ever. So I hope you guys enjoyed my story time. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.